Hello everybody and welcome back. I know it's been a hot minute, but the British and Irish Lions are back, and if that can't pull you back from being busy, then I don't know what can. I apologise if you're kind of buzzing in the background. I've got a fan on, it's far too bloody hot. So yeah, let's get into it. The team's out for the Argentina squad. What's my thoughts on the team? I don't think you've even heard my thoughts on the squad. I'll focus on the team at the minute. I might cover squad later on. But yeah. So the squad, you probably know it by now: Ellis Genge, Luke Cowan-Dickie, Finlay Bealham, Mauro Itoje, Tide Byrne, Tom Curry, Jack Morgan, Ben Earl, Alex Mitchell, Finn Smith, Duhan van der Merwe, Bundy Aki, Sione Tuipulotu, Freeman and Marcus Smith is your starting squad. Going through that, I think the pack could well actually be the main test pack. The backs, I think there is a few positions where you're looking, is that just a stopgap because better players are missing. But that pack, Genge, Cowan-Dickie, Bealham, I mean, especially with Sander Fagerson pulling out at 3, that could well be your best front row. You might want to put Sheehan at 2 over Cowan-Dickie, but with Leinster playing that URC final last weekend, it looks like any of the teams that have made it later on, the likes of Bath, Leicester, Leinster, the French teams even, you've got people like Kinghorns missing because Toulouse, that's all impacting. So I think that probably is the best pack. Sheehan at 2 would probably be the only change. The locks, Itoje, I mean, he's captain, he's going to start. Do I think he's the right captain? Honestly, probably. Especially with Doris pulling out. He was kind of nailed on to be captain, but yeah. With Byrne alongside him, yeah, I could see that. Curry, Morgan and L back row, fairly strong there. Good to see Morgan in with the Welsh. Didn't know how much playtime they'd get, but good to see. On to the backs, 9 and 10, I think Finn Smith and Alex Mitchell, for me, they're stopgaps. They have their chance to prove right, but for me, they're still, both of them are miles behind Gibson Park and Finn Russell. I mean, I think Gibson Park's injured at the minute, and Finn Russell obviously played in Bath's final last weekend, so he'll be getting a rest. So it'll be interesting to see what they can do. Maybe convince Andy Farrell differently, but for now, I do think that is just a stopgap. Centre partnership is really interesting. Sione Tuipulotu and Bundy Aki. Very interesting there. Both big bruisers. I mean, poor Argentina. Both there. I'm not sure how well this centre partnership's actually gonna work, if I'm going to be brutally honest. I mean, it might work really well. I think there is going to be some spectacularly big hits, some brilliant smashes, but I think both of these players work better with that strike runner off them. For example, if you take Tuipulotu, he works better with the Hugh Jones, the strike runner. Tuipulotu can play the little kick, the flick, make the couple of metres, get the offload off, and then the strike runner, and he can go in. Whereas with Tuipulotu and Bundy Aki, neither of them have that strike running capability. I'm not saying neither of them have the running, and I'm not saying neither of them won't score or anything, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I would swap one, and now which one of those two you'd start 12. I still would have Hugh Jones at 13 if he can come back, but yeah. Wings of Freeman and van der Merwe, I can see that, to be honest with you. I mean, James Lowe will come back. Who he replaces out of those two, I think that's kind of up for debate. I mean, the fact that Darcy Graham's not in the squad, may I just say it's a bloody joke. But yeah, My personal would be Van der Merwe and Lowe on the wings, but I can see Freeman's appeal. He does have the attack, and his defensive work is better than Van der Merwe. But Van der Merwe, I know defensively he's a liability at times. He's getting, but he is better than he used to be at his defence. You know, he's not ran round as easily as he was maybe in the last Lions tour 4 years ago. But his attacking prowess, you know, the fact that he broke Scotland's all-time try-scoring record in 4 years. You know, that took Stuart Hogg, what was it, like 8, 10, something like that, to break himself, and Van der Merwe comes in and less than half the time needed. Yeah, you can't not have him in. And then Marcus Smith at fullback again. I think this is a stopgap with Keenan. Is Keenan still injured? I can't actually remember if he played in the final of Leinster or not. If he's injured or not, he would. If he wasn't injured, he would have played for Leinster in the final. So yeah, and Kinghorn's obviously, I think he's playing in the top 14 final this weekend with Toulouse, isn't he? So yeah, Marcus Smith at 15 again. He's not going to last there. I think he's the best of what they have. Maybe I could see Elliot Daly in there instead. I would have played Daly, but you know, you can see why he's done it. But I don't think Smith's got the prowess to be a Lions 15. Into the bench, Kelleher, Schumann, Furlong, Cummings, Pollock, Williams, Daly and Hansen. Yeah, I mean the bench, front row is plenty experience on there. 3 solid front row options coming off the bench. Scott Cummings, I mean, for me, it was actually a bit of a shock in the squad, but I can see why he's in. You know, I think missing the Six Nations through injury, you know, made a lot of people forget about him in a little bit. But I'm happy to see him in. Can he maybe, off the bench, try and prove and dislodge a Toji or Byrne? I mean, it'd probably have to be Byrne, as a Toji's the captain, but it's possible. Henry Pollock, I can see why he's on the tour. He is the English media darling. Is he ready for the Lions, or is he just Marcus Smith was in 21? We'll wait and see. I think it's a good to see what he'll do in this big environment. Obviously, just coming to light just at the end of the Six Nations, he's not had the time really to show if he is quite ready or if this is a one-off blip. So we're really interested to see him in. Thomas Williams at 9 with Gibson Park out. I can see why. They did call up Van Poorfleet. I'd assume that's because Ben White is in the final as well with Toulon, because Ben White is 10 times the player of, I'd put him second behind Gibson Park for 9s. Surprisingly haven't been picked. Elliot Daly, you know, he's got that cover. He can play wing, he can play fullback, he can play centre. So it'll be interesting to see off the bench over and cover. And Matt Hansen, I mean, why is he in over Darcy Graham? Even Irish fans are saying it. I've got no idea, but he's in the squad. Can he prove people wrong? Can he say, well, here's why I'm in over Darcy Graham? Or will he drop a stinker and get swapped around with Darcy Graham, which we all know should happen? We'll wait and see for that. But there's my thoughts on the Lions team. Do I think they'll win? I mean, Argentina is actually a good team. You know, it's not like they're playing, you know, I mean, you look at the world rankings and Argentina's a better test than Australia for the Lions, if you go off the world rankings. If it plays out like that, we'll wait and see. Do I think the Lions will win? Probably. But I think it could be an interesting game. I think you could see here who is, you know, have the idea of who's a squad player, who's going to instantly, you know, if Alex Mitchell drops a stinker, you could look and go, well, moment Gibson Park comes in, he's out. Or if you can, you know, for example, Finn Smith drops a a while day, and you can go, let's see what it'll be like between him and Finn Russell until the end of the tour. But that's my opinions. Leave a comment down below what you think. I'll answer as many as I can, and until next time, I can see you later.